Hello, we are Yeti Robotics from Charlotte, North Carolina. And these are my teammates. I'm Ravina. These are my teammates Brooklyn and Ryan. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Yeti. When Yeti first came to Charlotte, Charlotte was a big city, and Yeti wondered, will I even have a measurable impact in a city of almost 800,000 people? But as Yeti formed a robotics team, Yeti grew in the community and impacted not only his teammates, but also the entire city. So now I'd like to take you beneath the surface to show you exactly how our team functions in our community. When Yeti first came to Charlotte, STEM was already here. We had CPCC, which is the community college, which hosts different events like the Geek Fest and the Passport to STEM, where students ranging from ages of middle school up until college can come explore the options available to them. We also have ImagineOn, which is a public library with an interactive studio for teenagers, and Discovery Place, which is a hands-on science museum for children of all ages. But Yeti did not want to start from scratch, and so using all of these entities that already existed, Yeti helped them work together like never before. When Yeti first formed the robotics team, there was only one girl on the team. And so to change this, we partnered up with DigiGirls, a camp by Microsoft, and we recruited girls to our FRC team. In order to get girls interested at even younger ages, we started up a junior FLL, and FTC team and offered girls a full progression through all the programs offered by FIRST, from junior FLL up until FRC. Our work with getting girls interested in robotics got the attentions of Pioneers in Skirts, a film documentary crew, and they came to our community college this year to track our progress, and they also came to our competitions to interview us. We've also been working with FRC teams in our region. We formed the Queen City Robotics Alliance in Charlotte with the teams that included Roll Robotics, Bots of War, and T-Rex. This fall, we shared our Java classes with them. In the future, we hope to build an FRC field where all of us can practice together before the matches. And we also hope to share and involve them in our outreach programs. For the first 3 years that Yeti was around, our outreach was a bunch of standalone different activities. These included the Airport Youth Day, where we would demo our robot for children to come play with, and the Intercollegiate Athletic Association, which had a sports event, but Yeti would come demo the robot there and spread awareness about STEM for college alumni. But for the past 2 years, we've had a more focused goal of our outreach so that we could impact the underserved members of our community. We worked with ImagineOn, where on Thursdays we have robotics clubs and we help kids work with small projects. We've also been working with the Urban Ministries, where we make sandwiches for the homeless. In fact, this year alone, we made 1,000 sandwiches in 1 hour. And that made us wonder, what else could we possibly do with this kind of muscle? And so, this fall, we're planning to take what we learned from the Urban Ministries and ImagineOn to fuel into Project 658, another outreach program we'll talk to you about shortly.
But if you really want to see how Yeti impacts our community, first we need to see what actually drives Yeti. So, while FIRST says that we like to build more than robots, Yeti goes a step farther than that. We like to say that we build robots to build people. So, we've been moving towards an industry standard over the last few years, and this has really helped Yeti evolve. And this year I think we've really moved towards that goal. For instance, this is the first we've had a strategy team, in which several group members locked themselves in a room for several hours just to discuss the strategy for this year's game. And because of that strategy having already been made, we had the CAD design already made for the robot before we even started building. And that's a first for us this year. So with the CAD design, we knew where all our motors would be. So we had an electrical board made before we made an electrical board before we even had a robot to work with. And because of the electrical board being made and the design already made too, we were able to code the robot before we even had a robot to work with either. So this really helped with our time management throughout the year. With all this extra time, we've moved towards working with our marketing department more. For the first time ever, we have 2 marketers, 2 students who are actually qualified to use Adobe Illustrator, with which we made our t-shirts, these presentation boards, and we're still working on making a trailer wrap for later this year. So with all this extra time we have on our hands, we put more emphasis into our outreach department.
The outreach event that Yeti is most excited about is the work we do at ImagineOn, which is a children's public library. Former Yeti student Patricia Beekman started this program last year, in which Yeti continues on this year alongside the help of Makerspace. Thursdays, students come super excited to work with the hands-on projects we give them to work with, such as this robotics car in this picture over here. Gus, who is the student in all of these pictures, is one of the students that comes super excited to work with us. During the 6-week build season, Gus was a little upset at the fact that we couldn't be there, but after the 6 weeks was over and we brought our completed robot for him to drive around, he was thrilled. In fact, here's a picture of him just after he got done driving our robot, really excited. You might ask what the measurable impact is of such an event. And even though we're not reaching out to a huge group of students, the small group that we are reaching out to is very impactful because we have those one-on-one connections with each student. We want to take the work that we're doing at ImagineOn and spread it within the diverse city of Charlotte. As you can see on this map here, the colored markings represent where many people throughout Charlotte come from, throughout the entire world. Project 658 is a place in Charlotte where refugees can go to learn the American way of life. We want to implement a program next fall at Project 658 to teach the students there STEM in a fun, interesting, and tangible way. Not only do we want to do this ourselves, we want to get the help of the entire Queen City Robotics Alliance to have the most impact as possible.
When Yeti first came to Charlotte, he wandered the streets of a city of over 800,000 people and thought, how can I actually impact this massive community? But as he wandered, he learned, and as he learned, he grew. And he impacted more students than we ever could have thought was possible. We can't wait to see what has for us in the future.